Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, I'd like to continue on with our discussion of films during this month of October 2020, in keeping with the Halloween tradition, the Halloween spirit. So, in celebration or in recognition of the spirit of the month, I have been trying to talk about a film or TV series pretty much every day on this YouTube channel. And I've been having a lot of fun doing that because these films, for one reason or another, do mean a lot to me. And so it's been my great honor to be able to share with you a little bit of why that is for each specific work. Today's film is no exception to that. This is another film that actually means quite a lot to me. I think in large part because of how so thoroughly entertained I feel whenever I see this. And I've seen it quite a number of times. And even more so now that I have this particular Blu-ray, which I will show you in a moment. This is from 1985. This is an American film. Directors are credited as being Bill Leslie and Terry Lofton. And my goodness, this is a one-of-a-kind. This is really one-of-a-kind. It's not for everyone, and I'll try to explain some reasons about that. But for those for whom this type of film is okay, then you'll know why I am so entertained every time I see this film, which is NAIL GUN MASSACRE. So, NAIL GUN MASSACRE is a film that is about a set of killings that takes place in this community involving a nail gun. And so it seems to be quite straightforward in that aspect of the plot. But as we go into the investigation, the sheriff and Doc, what a great duo they do make, by the way. And when we get further into the details and the weeds of the mystery that is at the center, or mysteries perhaps that are at the center of this film, I think we have the stage set for a trajectory going forth with regard to figuring out the enigma, the overall mystery surrounding this nail gun massacre. So with that kind of basic narrative plot construction, what do we have with this film? So I think it really is a case of beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And what do I mean by that? I think for a lot of people, one might see this film Nail Gun Massacre and just see the types of production values that are involved. It looks to be very low budget, and it's probably not the greatest film that has ever been made. Okay, that's very fair, that's very reasonable. And so some people might not like it on those factors. And you wouldn't be unreasonable in that approach. I think it's a very you are certainly free to feel feelings of dislike for this film or films of this nature, and I completely get that. So that's not a problem from my point of view. This is a film that is not necessarily scary for me. It's actually very funny. And it is, in many ways, a film that could be seen through the prism of it's so bad, it's good. But I do believe that that kind of prism, that kind of approach to cinema, is indeed a very noble and very charming one. Simply because, or by virtue of the reason that those sorts of film experiences, for me, and I think for a number of other people, are incredibly enjoyable ones. because they allow us to laugh, they allow us to catch the details that don't quite make sense. There's something very magical and very lovely about watching a film whose inner workings of cinematic physics don't quite add up. And we get a lot of that here, and I think this film becomes all the more charming and endearing to me because of those details. We see, for instance, certain dialogue that is spoken by some actors in this film, and I can really sense the good faith feelings all around, trying to make a film that is filled with shocks and scares. But there is, again, something very charming, very quaint, and very beautiful, in fact, about the homemade quality of this film that lends itself to a wholly engaging and oftentimes very funny and very quirky time at the movies from a certain point of view. I know this film has been made fun of a lot, and for instance, for those of you who know, say, Red Letter Media, I think this was a film that was featured on one of their Plinketto episodes. And I do know that this particular Blu-ray, for example, from 88 Films, the Slasher Classics Collection, spine number 7, by the way, this has a great audio commentary by The Hysteria Continues. And they really take the film in stride, too. They have fun with the film. They try to laud the film's merits while still being realistic and still having a wonderful time. With all the ups and downs and all the thrills and the chills and the laughs that come with this, as I say, thoroughly entertaining work. And so I really appreciate that kind of attitude. I like the idea that this is a film that can be a real enjoyable almost cult film, and because of that cult film status, there is as I say, a wonderful charm to the endearing earnestness that you can sense when watching this film. I mean, we're talking about a feature-length film, and despite the fact that it is low budget, despite the fact that it might not have the greatest film production levels going on, I mean, it's still a feature film. And from my vantage point, I mean, I watch it and I'm entertained and I laugh with it, I laugh at it sometimes, but still I am so thoroughly entertained. And it's better than anything I can do in terms of filmmaking, because heck, I've never made a feature-length film, and I don't think I could ever make a feature-length film. And so I really have to applaud the filmmakers in that regard, because they've done something that I could never do, which is make a feature-length film like this. With as I say, the great characters, the great set pieces that are just, they just follow one after the other. These are just, they really should be like heralded as being ultimate classics in terms of how the set pieces are started, followed through, and then capped off in their own little mini climax. And there are so many classic set pieces here. It boggles the mind, in fact. The dialogue is precious. It is just one of a kind. You either love it or you don't. And if you can go along with it, if you can just go along with the charming, bizarre nature of it, then I can imagine you having a really fun time with this. Not to mention the wonderful... there are some wonderful scenes, not just the so-called violent scenes, but also some of the dialogue scenes involving the investigation of this nail gun massacre. I mentioned Doc and the sheriff, and what a duo they make. My goodness, their dialogue scenes are, as I say, you either have to just go with it or you don't. But if you go along with it, you are going to have a lot of fun. And it is one of those, just the more you watch it, the more details you see, and the more details you see, the more you realize just what a fascinating and thoroughly a fun time this is. And so it becomes a film that really, in many regards, just is, and for many reasons, very fun. It's a very fun time. Now, once again, I must emphasize that it is, as I say, not necessarily the greatest film ever made. And as I said before, it is not the film that has the highest production values. Indeed, it is a film that has been made fun of. It is a film that has a lot of detractors, maybe, but that's okay. If you don't like this film, that's okay. But if you are looking for something that has the potential of making you laugh, making you smile, just again, you can sit around the TV and watch it with other people, hopefully, who have a similar kind of mindset, which is to just go along with the film and see what the film has to offer, and see exactly the kind of sort of whirlwind type of dazzling, truly almost confusing and mind-boggling way that this film weaves in and out of its own existence. I think the experience can be quite a fun and pleasurable one indeed. Sometimes people compare this film with other films of a similar type of, quote, so bad it's good type of nature. For example, the film The Room sometimes comes to mind. Plan 9 from Outer Space sometimes comes to mind. And if you are of that opinion, I don't think I wouldn't necessarily want to shake you from that opinion, because I think that's not an unreasonable position to take. But even in that regard, films like that, I think, have a really wonderful place in cinema. And they have such a great gift of being able to entertain. And in that case, the film Nail Gun Massacre is, I think, a film that belongs in that pantheon. And if so, then I think it's very good company indeed. And again, films like this are not for everyone. They don't have to be. If you enjoy it, I think you will really enjoy it, as do I. I think that it is a fun time, very funny. I laugh out loud so much from the very beginning, just at some of the absurdity of it, which is in and of itself, I think, a truly fascinating thing. The cinema of absurdity, or absurdity in cinema, there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with going along with it and seeing the real mechanisms go, and seeing how the wheels are turning as the film is progressing, and just realizing either the beauty of the ludicrous nature of some of the scenes, or the earnest quality of the homemade feel of the film, or the sparkling, or perhaps I don't know if sparkling is the right word, but the way that the dialogue seems to hang over the proceedings in a sort of truly memorable way, as well as that great music. The musical score is just, as I say, you have to go along with it. It might not be for everyone. It might be for some like nails on a chalkboard, but for others it can be just wholly consistent with the type of atmosphere that's going on here. Not to mention the way in which some of the characterizations are manifest. We have the particular, we have one character who is dressed up in this sort of jumpsuit with a black helmet, and there is a way in which that character design, as I say, it's a very interesting character design, and you either go with it or you don't. But if you are willing to go with it, then I think there is a great possibility that you will have a wonderful time, and you will have fun, and you'll be entertained. And my goodness, if there was a time that one needed to feel like one was having fun and one was feeling entertained, then I think now is an ideal time as any to feel that way. I certainly feel the need to want to have fun and to want to feel entertained, especially during this year of 2020. And so whenever there's the opportunity for something to put a smile on my face and to make me happy and to give me joy, then I welcome that opportunity. And watching the film Nail Gun Massacre is one of those opportunities for me. And I say that with great pride, and I say that without any kind of embarrassment, because I can't deny what is the truth, which is this film, Nail Gun Massacre, is a lot of fun, and it entertains me every single time I watch it. So this is the film Nail Gun Massacre. Okay, my friends, so that's it for now. And so until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great, great movies. Thank you once again for your time, as always, my dear, dear friends, and cheers.